good to go here for game number 1. But, man, you know, it's been a long journey. We're going to know our 5th and final team, though, from the North American European region that, of course, is going to be participating in that event. We have the 2 Latin American teams that were also recently announced. Big congratulations to them. We have the CIS team, of course, Cats Gaming. And, by the way, big shout-out for CIS Peabody. Peabody's actually been stepping up, and he's been doing a bit of casting for the Russian crowd, I believe, over there for CIS, and he's been casting all the exactly what you just said. Peabody, he's a great guy. You know, I've actually found myself tuning into his streams. I've absolutely no clue what he's saying, but I'm still entertained because the guy knows how to hype stuff up. So. Yep. It's a big shout out to Peabody there. With that said, though, it looks like game number 1 has officially started, ladies and gentlemen. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's go into game number 1. We do have QsQ going to be on the Hellborn side and Bunker Down on the Legion side first pick. Now, interesting note about that, QsQ actually won the role, but Nova did decide to go with the Hellborn instead of first pick Legion.
Well, he was listening to the cast yesterday, and he listened to the statistics that really heavily favored Hellborn. And it's kind of funny because, you know, you do get that double first pick, so to speak, on that first pick, or Legion side. And I think most teams really do prefer that, but, you know, like I said, the numbers don't lie, and Hellborn has been winning more, at least in the Redemption tournament. Of course, I don't have the stats for this one. Maybe we'll have that after today's game, or at today's match. But anyway, the locks, bans, blind bans, all that jazz is going very fast. Let's run over that real quickly. We got Pebbles and Fade on the Legion side, Ophelia and Amphora from Hellborn, and the locks so far are Tundra, Bubbles, Hag, Aluna, and Plague Rider.
Yeah, we're still waiting on the final lock coming up for Nova. Again, I see that Nova name. It's been a while, but all along, SQY was actually Nova. So. All right, so here we are with the final lock ready to come up here from Nova, and then we'll know what our lock pool is dealing with. But so far, I mean, no matter what he final locks here, the strength of that lock pool is absolutely ridiculous. And why not add a silhouette to it, right? So you got carries, you got your support, you got your suicide, you got your mid. I mean, everything but jungle pretty much stands in that lock pool.
Yeah, well, we've been seeing a lot more locking of both Tempest and Keeper of the Forest, which are both actually unbanned as of right now. Bassett says go ahead and ban that Dark Lady as we are in the regular banning phase. Just touching over a couple points, Pebbles and Fade coming out from Legion. Again, I still think I really regard Fade as one of those god tier heroes, but I think QsQ really does favor Fade. They've run him a lot, and Bunker Down doesn't want to deal with that. Ophelia and Amphora, I definitely understand the Ophelia ban, and then Amphora, of course, we don't see it blind ban that often, but it is one of those heroes that I feel like it is just so hard to play against. You can't ward against him, and it's very difficult. Doesn't want to deal with that. Yeah. So more bans coming out. Jeremiah, then Meraxis. Meraxis is a hero that we see banned, we see picked from time to time. It wasn't like it was during DreamHack Summer 2012 where it was like picked banned first every single time. Yeah. But I still think it should be. I mean, every single time we see that hero, it just seems to do so much work.
Yeah, you mentioned yesterday it would be interesting to see the win percentage stats from that hero. I'm just as curious as you. Again, after this event, and I'm sure Macro Hard and Nibe, who were able to help pull us the redemption stats from last event, perhaps can help us this time around. So not to put them on the spot or anything. I don't want to guarantee anything, but it's definitely possible. So we'll see. Parasite going to be the final ban from Bunker Down. And now we have QsQ coming up with their final ban. Again, neither team using extra time here and still yet. So both these teams, both Bassett's and Nova at least, have an idea of what at least somewhat of a plan going into this matchup here, apparently. Tempest is going to be the final ban, so we do see that couple of jungle heroes for that matter, being with those last couple. But still, you mentioned the Ophelia, of course, with the blind ban. So Keeper of the Forest, the only one really kind of left open. We'll see if Bunker Down perhaps takes advantage of that or goes another route. As always, there's plenty of options here. So,
yeah, well, part of the reason I think why Keeper and Tempest are so popular in this metagame right now is they both have the ability to jungle and suicide effectively. And right now it seems one of the safest ways, maybe not the best, but one of the safest ways to play this this mode is to lock suicide heroes. And it really just makes it easy to actually put together a team. The first pick is going to be that Polywog Priest for Bassett's, and that's a hero we've seen banned frequently a lot by Swindlemelons. He really doesn't like that hero for whatever reason, but they are going to first pick it, and we'll see how QsQ decides to respond.
Yeah, Polywog Priest picked up. I mean, Style, I know, plays a great Polywog Priest. He's just a great mid player in general over here for QsQ. But picked up over here for Bunker Down. So, yeah, I'm interested to see who exactly plays him. DM from Russ. I'm trying to figure out if he actually is somebody else on the team or if that just.
I think that's just him.
That is that just him? Okay.
I think. Let me double check.
Yeah, we're not actually sure. It looks like he's more of their solo style of player, so maybe he'll step up and play that role here. Again, we've casted a little bit of Bunker down lately, but not a whole lot to know exactly what we're dealing with. But they, again, 6-1 in Group B, obviously the first place standing in Group B, so very deserving to be here. And, again, a win over here for Q Squad in the best of the 5 series. They'll be going to DreamHack Winter 2012. Here we are, though. Nova actually timed out. Yeah, that is unfortunate. So that is interesting. We might have to do a remake if he doesn't come back in time. Yeah, they might just write the picks, but with Nova not even being there, then that kind of defeats the purpose. So, yeah.
What we can do is copy down all the bands, and actually he's coming back right now, but I don't know if he's gonna have enough time. It's gonna be really close. Come on, Nova.
Come on, Nova. You can do this. You got 10 seconds. Pick something. All right, there you go. He had something in mind. He just couldn't click it. Okay, there you go. Draconis and Pharaoh are going to apparently be the first 2 pickups from Q Squad, so he don't care. He only got 7 seconds left of extra time. He knows what he's doing.
Exactly.
Draconis Pharaoh. Draconis, it's hard to pass that up if he's an option for you. So.
Yeah, and Pharaoh is a hero that they've been utilizing a lot in that suicide lane. Jonas and Fan is a great suicide player, and when you think of great suicide players, you really think of Moon Meander. He comes to mind. Jonas and Fan, Zai, they're all great suicide players, and they have the potential to actually get kills on dual lanes, and that's what I see in these great suicide players. Like I've seen Jonas and Fan man up, actually get kills on 2. I've seen Moon do the same thing. I've seen Zai definitely do the same thing. Especially when he plays that Wild Soul. But that hero does get banned quite frequently. But Q Squad's very comfortable with the Pharaoh. He has great initiation. He's also quite good against Polywog Priest because Polywog really has no escape mechanism until maybe he decides to get a push book or something like that. But usually we see that fast portal key. And yeah, Pharaoh is just very good against is good for anti-pushing as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Draconis, of course, I'm sure going to be played by Nox on top of that. Yeah, that's a deadly hero-player combination. Of course, Nox, the thing we like to highlight about him is he's really just one of the best gold farmers in the game right now. He knows how to get that high GPM by the end of the game, and that showed as he was the top farming player overall. And of course, that Redemption tournament, no doubt, has been doing great success here, or been a part of the great success for Q Squad. With his carry play. Forsaken Archer and Andromeda, though, are going to be the final 2 regular picks coming out here. So Forsaken Archer, their carry of choice, but Andromeda going to go with that support style of hero over a hero even like Glacius. So interesting there.
Yeah, I think they just want to maybe secure the late game. I mean, Andromeda is one of the best late game supports, and maybe their thinking is, okay, if that's a Pharaoh and they do run him frequently as a suicide, we don't really need the strongest of laning supports to actually keep him out of the lane. And Andromeda's good in that aspect. They're going to go with the Voodoo Jester, so we asked him, why does he pick Voodoo Jester? What did he say? Just because?
Just because, I think.
Okay, yeah. Well, great answer.
great insight right there, right? No, it's, hey, sometimes it is just because you like the hero, I guess. Tundra going to be the first pick out of the lock pool from Bunker Down.
Yep.
Not too surprising. I mean, it is a very strong lock pool, but Tundra is God tier after all.
Yeah, we're probably going to see a Luna definitely here, and I'm going to guess like Bubbles or Hag. Just depends on what their style is. I want to say they run more of a Hag, but we're probably going to see a tri-lane coming out for Q Squad. I'm guessing a Luna, Voodoo Jester, Draconis in the long lane. Might even actually see a solo in the short lane Pharaoh rather than a suicide because it's better to utilize, I think, 3 range like that in a long lane and actually man up. Otherwise, the supports don't get that much farm and they're not able to do that much. But we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, wait, they randomed their 2 picks.
Timed out
yeah,
again.
because the Nova timed out. Hey, it made sense, but...
I was like, hey, I'm right again.
Just like, apparently they actually wanted a Luna Bubbles, though. So we are going to end up having to do a remake. That's a little scary, though, that Nova's having some DC issues in the picking stage. Hopefully that doesn't, of course, continue to occur throughout the game. But, in fact, obviously there was a little bit of that drama, not to bring up bad memories here, but with Q Squad in their final matchup that they ended up just getting a victory for. But they went through a series of disconnects through several of their players, actually, and we had a lot of pause time because of that. So kind of just cross your fingers and hope that's something we're not going to have to deal with today because that would really, really be crappy. But the final pick over there from Bunker Down is actually Silhouette. That is not too often we see Forsaken Archer and Silhouette on the same team.
Yeah, they're going to have like a support poly, I want to say. And their lanes are going to be kind of interesting, not like horrible by any means. They have a lot of range on that team. And Tundra, of course, is very strong.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. But yeah, we are going to have a remake because of that random. That hag is actually Bubbles.
Yeah.
And yep.
Yeah, other than that, it's I believe it's all good. I wanted to double check right there that Silhouette was actually a pick. It wasn't a random or anything like that, but no, it was actually a pick. So you're right. I mean, looking at the lineup, they don't have many other options other than running a support Polywog Priest. It doesn't seem like that unless they want to do like a support Silhouette or something.
Support Tundra?
Support Tundra even. The
Cold shoulder beyond
that, you know, the piercing shards. Talk about excellent harassment right there.
I know it.
Yeah, probably not going to happen. So, but support Polywog Priest, on a serious note, I mean, he does have somewhat of a place. It's not – see, I see him as one of those heroes that – he dominates. I mean, he's a very good solo mid, of course, and he hits that level 6. He becomes a tower pusher. He becomes almost a sure gank. But he's also a great support hero in the sense. He reminds me of a hero like Torturer, really. Torturer is definitely one of those hybrid type of heroes that we see him played solo a lot, or in that role because he can be dominant. But at the same time, he can also play a solid support. So it's not like crazy weird by any means.
Yeah, Poly is a little bit squishy in the beginning, but obviously has a strong CC ability in that tongue tie.
Yeah.
Which lasts, I want to say 2.5 at level 1.
I think at level 1, yeah.
And that's pretty damn good. Now, if they do clash, that's the problem. I think if they do clash, Polywog's effectiveness kind of goes down a bit. But I'll have to wait and see. I need an invite to this game.
I can't even click the spectator, so I might need to have them. Here, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sit down and then just have them ref me. All right, so yeah, we are getting back into the game. Sorry about that. But, yeah, so seeing Polywog Priest, you mentioned, he's somewhat squishy, but he does have that tongue tied. He has that Hex on top of that.
Yep.
So he's got double CC early on, and that could, of course, be pretty deadly to deal with in the laning phase. So.
Right. Well, I still think, yeah, when he starts to get those levels, I still think leveling up that Jolt is the smarter choice. But yeah, the tongue tie, very strong, especially actually if they're against a suicide.
Yeah.
Poly actually could be a very good support because you can actually do a lot of damage to just that one hero. But like I said, if they do clash, which I do expect a tri-lane in the bottom lane or long lane for Q Squad because they do have the 3 range. They have Draconis and a Luna. I mean, Luna is one of the best laning supports in the game. Then I think that Poly might have a little bit more of a difficult time. We'll have to wait and see if that's how they actually lane it.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see. Speaking of how they land it, so we expect maybe a tri-lane, at least initially, from Bunker down. Do you think it's going to be with Forsaken or Silhouette?
I'll have to wait and see. I'm a very visual person. I have to like actually see it.
Yeah,
but
fair enough.
See, they have Forsaken Archer, Andromeda.
Would you prefer one of those heroes over the other in a tri-lane?
I think Forsaken Archer does much better in a tri-lane. So
I
I would like to see more of a solo Silhouette. Also, Silhouette can take on solos better than Forsaken Archer, I feel, and has that escape mechanism. So.
Yeah, very, very true. So we are waiting on one more. Flens Maestro looks like he just has to reconnect here, and then we will be good to go for game number 1. So again, a couple of issues, hopefully not to jinx anything, but we're just done with that, and we can now move on to what is eventually going to be game number 1 here in a best-of-5 series, guys. So if you are just tuning in, just again, a recap on that. It is going to be a best-of-5 here. The winning team is going to DreamHack Winter 2012. The losing team, unfortunately, will fall just short. It's going to be either Q Squad or Bunker Down. They're going to join the likes of Complexity, Trademark Esports, Gary Johnson 2012, and TT Esports, who are currently representing the North American/European region. TT Esports, kind of the oceanic region as well, of course, with Slicks and White Talibus. So
yeah.
Giving a shout-out to that crowd over there. It looks like both teams do have 5, and now they're asking to rehost. So why the hell not? So much for jinxing us right there. So, yeah, it looks like they are going to go ahead and rehost real quickly. Apparently one of the players was having connection issues to that specific server.
160 ping.
I know, right? Can't play on that. Can't play on that.
Can't play on
All right, so we're just going to have to quickly do that, and then we'll be moving on our dandy way. So, yeah, those pregame interviews, though. Again, if you did miss those interviews, we do our best to get our VODs up as soon as possible, including the interviews. And I definitely highly recommend checking out the interviews today, especially the one with Nova, of course, who did officially announce that he is no longer known as SQY. He is now Nova, back to his original name. And kind of just making that whole thing official. Like he said, I mean, it was kind of a case of a lot of people suspected it, to say the least, including ourselves.
Right.
it never really was official, so we wanted to stay away from making it that. But again, he had very good reason, and you got to respect that. So
Yeah.
But a very humble guy, as you said, but also very well spoken at the same time,
Yeah.
and definitely an interview you should check out. And that QsQ project, as you said, they had over 200 players that I think applied that were like forming teams. That's why they had 6 teams or something like that in the DreamHack Summer Championship. So, but here they are with the 5 that he feels make the most sense.
They still had a number of teams that were competing too that were still pretty decent, pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And it was just funny that we hadn't even casted them or covered them until they actually played Complexity. But yeah, they've improved a lot, and it's going to be interesting after this game too to finally level out everybody and see who's going to DreamHack. Of course, there are those 2 spots from Southeast Asia that we don't know about.
Yeah.
But still, just seeing all the teams that we have so far, there's quite a few, and seeing start making predictions about who you think is going to take it and do the best and have a good performance at DreamHack.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting there. So, okay, I'm in the game. I'm having a lot of trouble clicking at the top portion of my screen for some reason. I'm not sure why. Anyway, so I just have to have Oh, there we go. You know what it was?
What?
I was having that bug that those players talk about where they can't touch anything. And so I clicked View Statistics, and then I was able to click up there.
GG,
it's amazing. Who told us that? There was somebody. There was a game. Somebody brought that up.
Shout out
yeah.
to whoever that
was. Whoever that was. I'm sure somebody will take credit. But whoever that guy was that let us know how to fix that bug.
I think it was someone from FYKU.
Was it?
I think so.
You know
I think
what?
it was Coors.
Yeah, that does actually ring a bell. That does. Anyways, shout out to Coors anyway, even if it wasn't him. FYKU is awesome. Can't wait to see them, of course, and how they do in Han Tour. Unfortunately, they did fall just short here in this event. It was that end to this to the group stages, especially for Group A. That was something.
It's pretty epic.
That got really close. Even all the way to the last day, really. I mean, of course, we still had multiple teams that had a chance, but in the end, QsQ did take that 3rd place spot. But the returners and FYKU also did have a pretty solid chance going into those last couple of days. So fun race there at the end. But again, we're still sitting in the process of remaking. Gonna wait for Nova to join up.
I hope his internet's gonna be okay because he seems to be
not even online right now. Yeah,
he seems to be disconnecting a lot.
Okay, looks. Apparently he's rebooting.
So
once he gets back, then we should be good to go with that. So, man, we're still. I just really want to start this game 1. Here we are. That's what we're here to cast after all. But fortunately, delays do happen. So
they do, and hopefully it's nothing like the pauses that we had that one horrible game, but I'll take this over that any day of the week.
Of course. But hell, while we're sitting here, of course, there's other things to talk about. There's always plenty to talk about. Han Tour does start this weekend. I still cannot believe that. Soon is officially finally here. Saturday is when the qualifiers do start. Like we kept reminding you these last couple of days, I think they've actually closed by now, if I'm not mistaken. But you had to register not only to create your team, but you also had to register for the actual qualifying event initially. Just to clarify some things on that as well. Again, I'm not the book of knowledge officially on Han Tour. I know some things though, so to try to spread that out there. I know there's a lot of concerns, with this qualifying event and going into the actual Han Tour. The qualifying event is simply just to place teams appropriately for the first portion, for the very first cycle or whatever, the very first event of what is, I believe, 9 total throughout Han Tour series. So, of course, what I mean by that, there's the Diamond Division, the Gold Division, the Silver, and then the Bronze. Now, if you don't compete in the qualifiers, it's not like you're screwed. That really, it doesn't mean that whatsoever. You can join Han Tour at any cycle, and any cycle you can join at the very last one, even when it comes to that, and you can sign up and you'll be fine. So when you join after this point, you will start in the Bronze Division, but you just work your way up. If you feel that you're good enough to be at the top tier divisions, then prove it. That's the whole point of this. Obviously, that's the whole point of Han Tour, is to prove that you can compete, and then that you can move on up. So, move up to the rankings, and then you'll eventually be to that top tier level if that's what you believe. So,
yeah, it's a really cool system. It really is.
Yeah.
It doesn't. There's no funny business. It's not like good teams taking, I'm just going to get some free, easy money in the Silver Division. No, it doesn't work like that. You're placing your visions according to how you perform.
Yeah.
So
it's obviously a great idea. I mean, it's not an absolutely new format by any means in that sense, but it really is a cool format at the same time, and really excited for that to all take place. And I know that there hasn't been obviously a lot of people are maybe a little bit confused or understanding that the big thing about Han Tour as well, it's not only a very unique event in the format and style, but it's very unique in the sense it really is different compared to what else has ever been out there for competitive gaming in general. And what I mean by that is everything is automated. You log into Heroes of New Earth, a button that says Han Tour pops up when you have a match at an appropriate time. You click on that button, it joins you in a lobby. Once you have 5 players ready to go, you hit ready up, and once the other team's ready, they hit ready up, and then you're loaded into the game. So everything is automated, and then after the game, it tracks the results itself behind the scenes, so you don't need to worry about going to admins and giving them your results. You don't need to worry about any of that. It's all automated, from statistics to results to all of that. So
even servers, right? I think
even the server
automatically chooses.
It chooses an automatic server based on the 2 teams, the regions that they signed up with, and what's fair for the matchup. So it's crazy. I mean, obviously that's definitely a big part of what perhaps made it take so long was the behind the scenes and getting all that developed into the actual game itself. But it is finally here. So cannot wait for that. But ladies and gentlemen, it looks like game number 1 is officially about to start. We are now loading in. So let's go ahead and jump in to the game. Let's go ahead and do this, guys. So they are. It looks like Nova is good to go. He is loading in himself, and they all selected the correct heroes. So that is always a good thing, of course. So there we go. Pulling up the stats. All right.
Right away, we have all members, and we've seen QsQ do this all the time. And they buy items and get down there faster than any team I've seen. It seems like by the time they're like halfway down there, people are still just buying items on most teams. But look at how far they are. They're actually kind of neck and neck if you compare them to the left side. But good job by both teams. They want to get that pole ward off as soon as possible. They're marching as 5 into the jungle, marching up 4 for Bunker down up in the Hellborn jungle, and then a lowly Silhouette who's probably going to be maybe soloing bottom. It has kind of some interesting items for solo bottom. And yet again, another vote to pause. Need 30 seconds for Flensmeister, but oh boy. Anyway, we're going to see probably, like I suspected, a tri-lane down here, like in the long lane for Hellborn. A pseudo-suicide up in the top lane for Pharaoh, and then a solo mid, probably going to be that Bubbles.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, definitely, to see how it really just does play out when it's all said and done here. Between these 2 teams in the laning phase, once we do come back from this pause, of course. But yeah, both teams are definitely going to have a very easy time of placing this ward. Bassett's on Silhouette needs to be a little bit careful here, that he doesn't actually get caught out by this ganking crew. I mean, I'm sure he's smart enough to realize that there is that very likely that possibility. As you made the point, especially with QsQ, they know they very, very quickly get down, it seems like, every single game. So, of course, if you've done your research, and I'm sure Bunkerdown has, they're very aware of that. And they're not going to let that really phase them too much. Just going to do it themselves. But, yeah, we'll see how that ultimately affects the situation here. Voodoo Jester, again, I still love that answer from Nova. I was really expecting something. I was expecting some kind of like explanation. Maybe he just prefers the acid cocktail, even though it's the RNG effect of the cursed ground. But no, it was just simply just because. Yeah, fortunately. So here we go, though.
All right, Sweet Pro is playing that Tundra. I'm excited to watch him specifically on this team.
And Silhouette is going to get caught.
Oh wow, Silhouette does level up the tree grapple, but it doesn't matter. The nuking power from Molly and that Bubbles is too much. I caught the tail end. You probably caught the whole thing, but that's really unfortunate.
Well, and I just talked about it in the pause. I try to give Bassett the benefit of the doubt that they've done their research. This isn't like something new that QsQ does. They do this like every game, it seems like, and that was just very odd decision making by Bassett's right there. He just really ran right into them. So that's unfortunate start.
Especially when, at this level and with this much on the line, you need to be... I think almost every single game we've cast, QsQ has ran down there, all 5, right away. And if you're watching this and doing your homework, that should stick out in your mind. But unfortunately, he does get caught. I think he actually uses a health potion as well. Yes, he did. And he will be actually soloing mid. It's going to be a dual lane mid with Silhouette and Andromeda, at least for now, unless Andromeda decides to switch something up. But Tundra's going to be soloing bottom against this tri-lane. And I always do think that having a melee hero that's a strength hero, melee strength is the best option against a tri-lane. Of course, other heroes like Bubbles are very good too because you have those escape mechanisms. But melee heroes get a little bit more experience. They also have the extra health regen, and are just harder to take down. And with Tundra, that's a great hero as well. But yeah, mid lane, we're going to have this dual lane against Bubbles. I don't know exactly how good of harassment Andromeda can do against the Bubbles, though. I kind of fear for him in that regard. Anyway, top lane, we also have another dual lane. It's going to be Polywog and FA top against a Pharaoh, so interesting lane setups coming out from Bunker Down.
Yeah, it definitely is. Perhaps a little bit caught off guard there with that, but we'll see how it fares out in the middle lane, though. Silhouette already down once, down a lot of trouble again. Will she be able to tree grapple in time? The Acid Cocktail going to bounce around. They're going to go for a kill, and Andromeda says, screw you, Silhouette. We want the guaranteed kill, and that they will get. So the roaming Voodoo Jester and Aluna, very effective early on here. Obviously coming from the bottom lane as a result of Draconis being against Tundra. Draconis, by all means, can handle his own down there, but QsQ starting off very strong here. A lot of roaming going on between Aluna and Voodoo Jester.
Yeah, it's going to actually give a little bit of good farm for Sweet Pro, but it doesn't matter. Draconis is still going to do fine against that lane. And actually, they're going all the way up to the top lane and going to try to do this tri-lane against this dual lane. That's what I talked about. It's always so risky running a dual lane or if even a tri-lane up in the long lane, only if you know that you have the superior lane. And actually, Forsaken Archer is going to get gone on there. There's the cast to set it up. There's the wall of mummies on top of the Hellfire. The spam coming out from Aluna. The volley's actually trying to hit something, but it's just too late, not enough. Jonas Van gets credit for the kill.
Man, this is definition right here of Bunker Down, that it just doesn't seem like they really thought out this laning phase all that great. Silhouette in the middle lane. Silhouette's going to fall to Bubbles, it looks like. No, she's going to barely get away, but wow. Nearly dying to a solo Bubbles, and that should never happen, you would think. So, Bunker Down off to a very, very, very slow start here. We do see Tundra at the bottom lane, nearly dropping himself, but he's going to barely get back in time. And doesn't have any regen, though, so he's going to have to actually go all the way back to base. We're going to have a vote to pause here, unfortunately, coming out from Bunker Down. But Voodoo Jester, Aluna, and Draconis now finding themselves in the bottom lane. But yeah, it really does seem like, obviously QsQ playing great here early on, but Bunker Down just didn't really think this out too well here early on.
I agree. I don't think they thought it out very well either. And right now, at this point, they're pretty much losing all lanes. Now, they did rotate back towards the bottom. Pharaoh is camping this room top, actually. It's a double damage, maybe waiting for the bottle from Style to be filled. But then he's going to go back up top. But yeah, they're essentially right now losing all lanes. And it's because this dual lane top is just so risky. It really is not a smart decision, in my opinion, unless, like I said, you have the superior lane if they do decide to respond, which they did. And they did respond. It ended up being a Pharaoh, Voodoo Jester, and Aluna for just a little short time. But, Polywog up in the long lane, it's not very strong. Forsaken Archer, she has no escape mechanism. She's very easy to kill. And, yeah, I just don't agree with the laning phase. Even Andromeda, I think Andromeda is a great support, but very weak at laning. Like I said, I feel like the only time you can actually pick that hero and feel good about it is when you know they have a suicide.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how this progresses. You got to think of your Bunker Down right now. You're obviously a little bit discouraged at how this game has started, but at the same time, you do have both a Forsaken Archer and a Silhouette, and you really just need at least one of them to have a decent time early on. Flensmeister, of course, the one having the better time because of the lane setup, despite that early death on him. He is 14-5. Silhouette actually in the middle lane in a lot of trouble right here. The Tormented Soul doing enough damage, and there's Bobbles running in with an auto attack Shell Surf, and Silhouette just falls. What a great job there from QsQ as a team. Yeah. Pharaoh from the top lane, sending a Tormented Soul all the way to the middle, knowing that Silhouette was going to try to hide, but she was spotted out, also took that level 1 Tormented Soul, or level 2 Tormented Soul damage, and helped assist for the kill. So 0-4 start here for Bunker Down. QsQ is, again, just looking very good. As you said, essentially even winning all 3 lanes because of how this game has started now.
Yeah, and actually Polywog's going to be a lot of trouble. The Striders are actually up on Aluna, so he got there very quickly. The volley's coming down, trying to do damage. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. Actually, Andromeda's there as well. The stun's only level 1, though, so it doesn't do that much damage. They actually do get him. Polywog still lives, so a good turnaround there for Bunker Down. Actually, DM from Rush does use his potions, but it gets canceled immediately by the little Warlock. So unfortunate right there. The snipe coming out from Aluna does take him down, not enough to kill him, but I guess a good turn of events right there. A lot of was used for Bunker Down.
Yeah.
But still, they got something out of it.
Yeah, they got something out of it. You mentioned those Striders already on Aluna. This is a hero that's really just been roaming since the beginning of the game. He's only level 2, but he already has freaking Striders. So, yeah, huge start here for Malay actually playing that Aluna hero, of course. You see he's going to run into Polywog Priest Rider, level 3 Polywog, a level 2 Aluna. Andromeda coming in with the Commissar jump, but just a half a second too late. The power throw came out initially, and down goes Polywog. We do see Aluna. Ooh, the health potion's canceled right there, actually. Good job by the Aurora coming out from Andromeda, but it doesn't matter in the end. Aluna will be fine. She's just going to fall back to base and throw up some regen. So, I mean, if I'm Polywalk Priest right there, I am thinking to myself, what the hell was she be doing there in the first place? Silhouette, though, in the middle lane, going to get jumped right here. Bubbles going on top of that cursed ground, and Style will get credit for an easy kill. He is already level 6. Style is dominating this middle lane. 380 gold per minute on Bubbles. Man, this Q squad, talk just about a crazy aggression early on. They are making the best of it. And this, with the way that they're playing, they're trying to make this a quick victory here. Yeah,
and you know, a lot of people regard Bubbles as a poor solo hero, and don't get me wrong, a straight up 1v1 of Silhouette versus Bubbles, yes, Silhouette should win it, but there's other factors involved. Silhouette got first blooded, lost a health potion because of it. They duel in mid for just a short amount of time against Bubbles, so that means Bubbles got a little bit more experience, and that actually helps Bubbles, at least in the mid lane. If he was a suicide you duel lane against him, it's much different because he doesn't get any experience. But in a straight up 1v1, when you're dueling against him like this in the mid, he actually got more experience. He's able to get those nukes up, and you can actually harass Silhouette out of the lane with those nukes.
Yeah, you see, I mean, he's just about 200 more experience per minute than Silhouette. He has a 2-level advantage here. And on top of that, of course, the gold farm advantage is just ridiculous on top of that. 378 compared to 122 right now. For Silhouette, top lane, Pharaoh in a lot of trouble. The tongue tie coming out. Not going to be enough to longest duration because of the Illuna stone, but it will be enough for the kill. So good job right there setting that up. So it seems like Q Squad has kind of developed into a dual lane up top here. But Flensmeister and crew with Bunker down, they've actually taken advantage of that and have gotten a couple of kills as they've really been running a tri-lane. Since that adjustment has happened. So a couple of kills coming out, and Flensmeister all of a sudden, I mean, he does have some pretty impressive GPM himself, over that 300 gold per minute, and so his creep farm not too bad. He picked up Steam Boots as well as the Ring of Teacher. That really right now is just the one positive for Bunker down, and of course the good thing, because at least they got something here. It's just not all going downhill, but still, no doubt, Q Squad right now is definitely in the better spot early on. Yeah,
Tundra does have that level 6 though, and he has a TP on him. So if he wants to set something up, I think now is the time. The lane is too far pushed up in the bottom, and they have Voodoo Jester sitting in the lane as well, helping out Nox on Draconis. So if you'd like to TP, maybe gank say top, that would be fine for him. And in fact, he could probably just TP right now, and they could go on him. But it's not actually going to be him. It is going to be the Poly. So just again a straight up tri lane here. They're still going to try to go on this Pharaoh. He does not have boots yet. They're going to initiate on him. There's the Hex actually, but he uses the wall to kind of fog himself away. And that's unfortunate because actually boots were up on Poly, and boots are up on all 3 of those all 2 of those supports as well. And Pharaoh did not have him, so it's unfortunate that they did not get the kill.
Yeah, top rune, it's not going to spawn. Bubbles was going up there, but instead it goes bottom. Voodoo Jester's here. Oh, he's going to take an avalanche, actually. And Tundra, will he steal it? Oh, he's not even going to steal it. He just gets the kill first, and Zepro will pick up the Invis rune. Very well played by Zepro, a.k.a. Sweet Pro here, playing this Tundra. And so again, some more positive at least coming up for Bunker down. So it seems like things have calmed down a little bit, and they are starting to get their good news. You mentioned he at level 6 and wonder if he's going to set up a counter gank somewhere, but instead he sets up a free kill on a Voodoo Jester. Andromeda's in a little bit of trouble against Bubbles, actually. Bubbles using nice take cover, though, as he thought a Comet Stun was coming in. He is going to get hit by it later, but in the end it's just not nearly enough pressure to be put out. So, but yeah, good job taking out the Voodoo Jester there by Sweet Pro.
Yeah, that is what separates the pros from the Joes, guys. Like, yeah, the Invis rune was right there, and you could be. Most people, I think, would say, "Oh, I got to get that form. I'm going to use the Avalanche, grab the Invis, and maybe try to get a kill or something." But he actually, I'm sure this was going through his mind, is thinking, if I actually move just a little bit to actually get that Invis rune, I might actually lose out on one attack. And since Voodoo Jester has not cast that cask yet, he actually could still get away. And that was just a really smart play by him, utilizing all of his damage perfectly. Yeah. Knew that if he went for that Invis rune, he might not actually get the kill on Voodoo.
Yeah, it's definitely a very, very heads-up play from him. Draconis, look at this. He's in the Legion jungle right now, just farming away. Going to run into Tundra, actually, but Tundra gets away before he takes any damage from both him and Voodoo Jester. But yeah, Draconis just feeling so ballsy right now, feeling good about life. Even going into the opposing team's jungle and starting to farm it up. So speaking of Draconis, I haven't focused too much on him, but he is 61 and 26, definitely dominating creep farm right now, as you would expect, really. 350 gold per minute. He's going to come to the middle lane now, pick up a couple of creep kills here, and may eventually just go to his own jungle as well. Top lane, there's some possible action. Going to be picking up a level 8 Pebbles. Wrath of the Pharaoh actually missing right there. He was going for Polywalk Priest, but Polywalk had already fallen back. Bubbles activates. No, I thought he had a double damage route, but actually Andromeda goes the other way from his team, and he's going to be a sacrificial lamb right here. Oh, Kelfield even used. That was a very odd decision right there, but miscommunication coming out. But hey, they got the kill. That's what matters. And now for Second Archer and Polywalk Priest, they need to be careful. But with the Kelfield down, might not be the worst deal for them to stay in here.
Yeah, that was just simply, I don't know if maybe Bubbles knew that Tormented Soul was leveled up on Pharaoh, And actually, Pharaoh went a really interesting thing. He actually hasn't maxed Tormented Soul yet. He went for a second point into Hellfire, so kind of interesting. I'm wondering if that's actually even a misclick. But yeah, I'm actually still surprised how well Forsaken Archer is farming up in this top lane. It's been a pretty volatile top lane, so got to give Flensmeister some credit right there. Constant rockets coming out from Pharaoh. I mean, we saw one in the mid that secured a kill onto that Silhouette, so good job by Jonas and Fan by constantly harassing out pretty much all the lanes. There's a Sustainer picked up by Draconis, so pretty much going to go with that standard build as he is taking out some stacked Ancients here with Nova.
Yeah, of course, that's what Draconis is so good at, especially earlier on, being able to drop those Ancients. Now, he's going to fall back, actually, and Voodoo Jester not going to finish off this last dragon, but in the middle lane in the meantime, we see Pharaoh this time, and not even Wrath of the Pharaoh needed, actually. I thought I might have used it, but no, it was still on cooldown. Bubbles and Pharaoh, though, come together and set up a kill. Another kill on a Bassets, who's been recovering a little bit, but with that death right there, once again, going to keep him slow. Andromeda's actually in a lot of trouble. Pharaoh does have that hook now ready to go. So Andromeda, if she gets caught right here, this is no doubt a kill. I mean, they can definitely tower dive as well. You see Pharaoh coming in. He's not even going to use his ultimate, just going to run in right here. There goes the Hellfire. In comes a Shell Surf Saga the Sea combo, and down goes Andromeda. Style once again, credit for the kill. You saw that setting up for a while, and sure enough, it was finally executed. So well played right there by Q Squad, now up to 9-3 hero kill advantage. In the meantime, at the top side, Tundra and Polywog Priest roaming around as a squad right here, but they are at numbers disadvantage, and actually Tundra in some trouble. He's going to be spotted out by Jonas and Fang, hits him with the hook. In comes a Cursor Ground. He's definitely going to fall right here. Will he be able to take out somebody with him? The Piercing House, great placement right there. Pharaoh's dropping quickly, but Pharaoh will barely survive. Polywog Priest drops to the final auto attack coming out from Draconis, and Flensmeister did all he could, but now he needs to get away before too much happens. Silhouette, though, trying to find that low-life Pharaoh, and sure enough, he does, so good job from him, but going to run into this level 10 Bubbles, actually, who does have a Kelp Field if he wants to use it. Double damage room will spawn. Can Silhouette stretch enough? Yes, he can. He bottles it up, actually. And out comes that Commissar. Will he activate it? He still hasn't activated it just yet, but it doesn't matter. Bubbles will fall. Double tap coming out for Bassets right there.
That was really huge, actually. I actually thought that he was going to break that Kelp Field before he got it, but using the full range of that, and kind of questionable that he didn't pop the double damage, but nonetheless got a great kill on him. And good turnaround for them. Silhouette, actually, again, some of these numbers are coming up as far as the CS scores for Silhouette and Forsaken Archer. I'm surprised. I mean, they had a really rough start. Right now, at this point of the game, Bubbles is probably stronger than he will be for the rest of the game. His nukes do so much damage. The supports are very low leveled. And he's running a number. I mean, you don't really think of Bubbles as a hero that can really take over a game, but he can, and he's really doing that. It's unfortunate he died right there, but that was exactly what not Q Squad.
Draconis actually getting caught in the jungle. The War Trap comes out, and damn from Russ playing that Polywog Praise. Very well executed. He just so happened to be roaming around. I don't see any vision right here for them. Maybe they spotted him roaming over here early with this Water Side. It's an interesting placement, by the way, by Rhythme with this Water Side in the Hellborn jungle, but they find him, and they pick up a kill. So, I mean, really, Bunker Down has, we say this a lot, but it's true. They've been bunkering down after that slow start for them there, and they are now in a much, much better spot, in fact, especially after that kill. Now, at the bottom lane, Tundra actually will be taken out, as Pharaoh once again does connect with the Wrath of the Pharaoh, and Aluna is there for the assistance. Middle lane, Andromeda actually in a lot of trouble. He is eventually going to fall. The Curse at Ground is definitely going to guarantee, if not the auto attacks. There we go. Nova gets credit for his first hero kill himself of the game, also sitting on 5 assists. So, right as I say, good news for Bunker Down. All of a sudden, 2 heroes die.
You've got the curse.
Got the curse. You gave it to me. You gave it to me, Trev.
Yeah, I know. This has actually been a back-and-forth game so far, and it's been relatively close, and there's a lot of action so far. 19 hero kills already in only 14 minutes, so pretty active game so far. Like I said, Bubbles is going to be still running the show, I feel. He almost has his portal key, about another 200 gold. And, you know, we just saw a great thing, though, with DM from Russ. And this is part of the reason why I think Polywog as a support is still viable. You don't need farm for your ward trap once you get it, or your wards, to be effective. I mean, obviously, Staff of the Master boosts it, but, you know, most of the time we don't even see that get built on a Polywog even with farm. And it's still an effective tool on a support. I mean, that's such a powerful ultimate.
Yeah. And, you know, the thing I talked about earlier as well is on this Legion team is it's so rare. I mean, I don't know if I can recall any metagame ever really consisting of 2 ranged carry strategy, but here we are with Bunker Down running both Forsaken Archer and Silhouette. Both are trying to get as much farm as possible. And right now, it's not bad. I mean, Forsaken Archer's 335. We see a swap right here on a Pharaoh actually coming out. In comes Polywarp Priest. There's another War Trap. He tries to Wrath of the Pharaoh something to get out, but it's not going to happen. You can tell that was a panic move right there by Jonas Fan. But here comes, look at that, Bubbles. We talked about it. He's level 11 and just shows off his burst potential right there, especially with the lead that he has. So at least he gets a counter kill, but still a 1-for-1 exchange in the end. But going back to my point, I mean, I'm a little bit worried if I'm QsQ. I mean, sure, we have a lead here, but I'm dealing with a Forsaken Archer and a Silhouette who both are managing some decent farm here early on.
Well, they're going to have to find different ways to soak up all that farm. That's the problem when you draft heroes like this. Now, I will say the old INFS, if you remember, they actually did draft very similar to this. They drafted a lot of range carries. I would see in the same game Forsaken Archer, Silhouette, and Valkyrie. I saw it actually quite frequently. So I'm not saying that it works. I don't think it does, but it's still viable. It still can work. The only problem, like I just mentioned, though, is you run into the fact that you just simply have to soak up a lot of farm on both heroes, and they obviously can't get all of the farm on they can't. They have to spread it out somehow.
Yeah, so it really comes down to who do you prioritize it on in the end. I mean, in this case, especially with the start Flensmeister had, maybe on him. I mean, right now he does have the higher GPM. He, by the way, went Whispering Helm, so going for more of that kind of sit back and I'm going to use this to even farm more and eventually going to be very difficult to kill in those team fights. Where Silhouette still working on her first big item, currently in her own jungle. Actually, is there something on the courier? It looks like there's a life tube, so going to be possibly going for that first item. Nullstone, meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Pharaoh again getting caught out here. Here comes Bubbles, trying to counter, and Tydra's in a lot of trouble. The Wrath of Pharaoh going to be used, and Pharaoh stays alive, also gets a counter kill. Polywarp Priest being caught with the Cutfield, but at what cost right here? Bubbles now in a little bit of trouble. Silhouette comes in, there's the Hex. Silhouette, no, nice job with the take cover, but it won't be enough when it's all said and done. The Gore Taunt on top of that, and down goes Bubbles. A 1-for-1 exchange that Bunker down will gladly take right there. When it's all said and done. Polywalk Priest, in the meantime, getting caught out right here. Power throw, final auto attack. Good job by Mally right there. Taking out Polywalk Priest at least. So in the end, makes it a 2-for-1. We do see top lane. Nope, Draconis going to be fine. But yeah, that was a interesting fight there at the bottom lane.
Oh, they try to get a gank up onto this top lane with Voodoo with his Striders. He's so fast. He also has a Bound Eye very early on. He purchased it himself. Nova seems to buy. I mean, okay, it was SQY before, but Nova seems to buy Bound Eyes very, very early. I will say it's very effective, but it's also a little bit risky when you have it on a support that's so squishy like Voodoo.
Yeah, it's that is interesting. Exactly. I mean, if he happen to be caught here by that Polywalk Priest with the War Trapper, by Silhouette, or really anyone here on this Legion team, then that could be a bound die for the Legion side. So it's definitely risky, but at the same time, as you said, it seems like that's something he loves to do. And now that for a fact, again, that we especially know that it's Nova, this is definitely just his style of play. He puts so much of his focus around vision on the map, around warding and denying vision of the opposition. Of course, that's what he was so popular for with Fnatic MSI/Raycall at that time. So we do see all 5 heroes gathering up here. No, excuse me, only 4 heroes. There is one at the bottom lane of Bubbles, actually, but 4 heroes up here for the Hellborn team. This is an illusion Pharaoh coming in. We'll see if they can catch that, but in the meantime, nice swap from Andromeda. Going to save Forsaken Archer, and as always, Andromeda playing that sacrificial lamb role. But here comes the real Pharaoh. Jumps in on a Forsaken Archer. She had no clue that was going to be happening. Nice tongue tap from Polywalk Priest, though, and Forsaken Archer, a Spear Ward coming out from Voodoo Jester, just in range, and finishes off Forsaken Archer right there. Well played by Nova. Bubbles now coming in with the Cutfield, catching 2 heroes. Tundra in a lot of trouble. Polywalk Priest already falling. Tundra's very likely going to fall on. QsQ is absolutely rolling over. Bunker down right here. They're also going to push a tower. So it looked like Bunker down, calming things down and getting back into this game. All of a sudden, QsQ gets crazy aggressive again and makes huge plays at the top lane.
That was a crazy exchange right there. You had the Bubbles ulti on 2, and then the Dragon Breath, that's what it's called, Dragon Flame actually pushed Tundra out of the ultimate, stunned him as a result. And then, as an insult to injury, the casks just bounced back and forth between Tundra and his Coral. So it's just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It was a crazy exchange, really well played by QsQ.
Nox already has a Nullstone. He's had that for a little bit now even. I mean, there we go. He just purchases his Warhammer, actually. So Draconis, typical Draconis, getting the farm. Silhouette's in a lot of trouble. He's going to use that tree grapple. Will he be able to use it in time? Yes, he will. Pharaoh does not have a hook. And so Silhouette will be more than fine. Good getaway from Bassett's right there, who started off 0-4 and is now 4-4. So obviously going 4-0 since that start. And again, you look at that, his GPM really reflecting that. Right now, 325 gold per minute. It looks like Nova does disconnect right here. That's not a timeout, though, so maybe just a graphic bug or something like that. Just going to go ahead and reconnect, hopefully, as Malay throws up a pause. But so here we are again. This game, it's weird, man. I mean, I feel like Bunker Down keeps kind of coming back into this, But I mean, right now, they're not farming bad both Forsaken Archer and Silhouette, but you look at the overall golden experience advantage. It's 11,000 for Q Squad, 6,000 experience for Q Squad.
I know it. It's huge, actually.
Yeah.
It's a huge lead at this time. Over 11,000 gold. That's massive. I mean, look at the items. Bubbles, it seems like he just got his portal keys, almost got his push book as well. If that's what he goes for, I think that's probably the smartest choice, especially against a Polywog Priest. Male just having a fantastic game on Luna so far. I wanted to say he almost had more kills than levels at one point. He was like 3-0 at level 3 and was just about to get a 4th kill. So that would have been funny. But yeah, Male is a player that's been so solid, and I've been watching him a lot. And he's very versatile. He plays fantastic jungle too. He usually does play jungle, but of course he did not draft a jungle. But he's like one of those up-and-coming junglers. You know, when you think of great junglers, like Chessie certainly comes to mind. As well as, you know, when you think of like, well, sometimes Zai, he plays jungle, but he plays a lot of Suicide as well. And he's really up-and-coming. He just seems to play jungles, and, you know, Luna, he can obviously showing that he can play second support as well. So
Yeah, definitely some players that come to mind. No, Z-Freak, also another player.
Yes.
That comes to mind. So definitely players.
I mean, when
out
I think
there
of jungle, I think of Z-Freak.
The Z-Freak, but then of course Chessie as well, as you also talked about with
of
complexity.
Course.
So
yeah,
there's definitely some popular jungle players out there. Mally, no doubt, he is definitely an up and coming. And but you're right. I mean, definitely a versatile player as playing the support role here. So. Here we are. Looks like Nova is back and ready to go. So here we go back into the game. As I mentioned, Draconis already with a Warhammer pickup after the Nullstone. So right now farming 465 gold per minute here. Looking very strong. We do have that. Both the Luna and Bubbles. I mean, of course, Voodoo Jester as well with the Bound Eye pick. Just all around, just the gold farm is looking very good. And I think that's the biggest difference as to why we have such a huge lead in favor of Q Squad. I mean, sure, Draconis is doing what he does, and especially by Nox. I mean, 480 gold per minute himself, but you have the Bubbles doing fantastic, being played by Style here. And then Iluna's at 270 GPM. I mean, for a secondary support, that is very, very good farm. In fact, they're going to try to gank Silhouette here, but no, they get him to port out actually with the Illusion. And so good, well played right there. The tower is just added in eye range, as it will stay so. But yeah, Iluna, a Tablet of Command, and already another Neophytes book picked up.
Yeah, maybe going to go for a Storm Spirit right now after that. And that'd be fine if they do decide to initiate on somebody like that Draconis and then keeping him alive before he's able to maybe activate a Shrunken Head. Of course, they do have that, I think it's 0.5 seconds where you actually cannot activate any of your inventory when you come down from the Storm Spirit, but it's kind of a minor thing right there. But yeah, things are looking fantastic for Q Squad. Right now, they're just trying to further their lead. They're furthering the lead at least in experience. Not so much in gold, but they are stacking just a little bit. These Ancients are kind of triple stacked. They have 2 of those big dragons. They're missing one of the little ones. But that'll be good farm to maybe get a fast Shrunken Head up on Draconis. He's going in the regular jungle, so they're going to leave that for maybe the rest of the team to farm.
Yeah. We'll see. Speaking of stacking the Ancients, the Hellborn team going to look to do the same over here maybe? Yeah, maybe not. They're just going to go ahead and, well, I'm not sure why they're pulling it right now, actually. It's only 21.5 minutes. But anyways, we do have Farrell actually going to the side shop. He finishes his Arcana, actually, so Hellflower very likely going to be in the way for him. You see the Shiver scouting out a little bit. It is going to spot Iluna running over right here. And Tundra may want to try to take advantage of this, but of course with Pharaoh Nubra especially, then not really the smartest move. So the Curiel is going to be picked off right there by Iluna as Pharaoh just goes into the lane and is going to look to farm against this Tundra, who's you know, his farm, Sweet Pro's been having some great play here, but he is struggling somewhat. He's still sitting under 200 gold per minute, has bottle boots, the steam boots, and really not much else. So possible portal key likely for him, but still a ways off of that. Speaking of gold being saved up, though, I mean, 2,500 right now for Forsaken Archer, who did go over to those triple stacks. He's going to finish clearing them up right here, getting really close to death, but in the end going to kill them, and she's now sitting at 3,000, so she's got some gold. 2,200 on Silhouette. Again, it's adding up. Oh my god, there might snipe out Forsaken Archer right here. Wow, that was close. Between the Tormented Soul and the Luna snipe, they had an idea that she was doing it, tried to get her picked off, but it wasn't to be so. But we do see Kongors actually drop in, and this could very likely be a Kongor kill.
Yeah, Cataclysmic Assault was activated. Of course, the Hellfire from Pharaoh makes it very easy to get Kongor actually killed. And they're probably going to do that. Actually, it looks like they might see a little bit of resistance coming up and bunkering down. They have an idea. They're trying to get all their members here, but of course, Forsaken Archer is not quite here just yet. Kongor is very close to dying, but we might see a big fight here, a brewing in the bottom river.
Here we go. Andromeda throws in the Aurora. Of course, no minus armor affecting Kongor anymore, in case you've been in Araka in the last year or so. But just going to scout it out a little bit. Draconis Ultimate is up in 5 seconds. Again, a very short cooldown on that Cataclysmic Assault. Only, what is it right now? 45. It goes down to 30 seconds, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, at level 3, just ridiculous. But the Couriel is going to even be sent in, so a lot of sacrificial lambs going in here. But nothing too serious. Franken Kongor, though, is starting to regen as a result of this delay here. But Legion team, I mean, they don't have the most powerful initiation right now. So they're finding themselves in a little bit of an awkward spot, and I'm sure QsQ realizes that as well. They're going to go back in. They're going to tank Kongor with Pharaoh, and it is getting close to death, actually. Cataclysmic Assault was used by Draconis. But the Legion team, they're sending themselves in right now, and here we go. There's a crowd fill coming up from Bubbles. The Hellborn team going to try to react to this at the time. Cursor Ground actually hitting Forsaken Archer, and Forsaken Archer takes a lot of damage in the background. The Acid Cocktail bouncing around. Tundra using the Avalanche on the Pharaoh right there, getting him killed. Forsaken Archer barely alive right now, but there goes the Kongor kill. Draconis picks it up, and Forsaken Archer will tick down to the Cursor Ground when it's all said and done, taking 300 damage on the last tick right there. Silhouette, the swamp in the last second. No doubt helping to save Silhouette right there, and again, Andromeda will be the sacrifice, but both Polywog and Silhouette will pour it out as Tundra's barely trying to get away. Shell Surf Snipe maybe in 1 second. He does have a portal key as well. There's the portal key. There's the Song of the Sea, Shell Surf. And down goes Tundra. So very good news for QsQ right there. Look at Draconis, actually, where he is at all the way by himself. Not sure what Nox is doing, but he misses the tree grapple. And Draconis should easily be able to get away. And Silhouette, I would be a little bit worried about pursuing this because support is coming. Here comes Bubbles. He does have the illusion up, but Silhouette now going to go at it with Bubbles. Actually, it's very low on mana. And now Bubbles in a lot of trouble. The tree grapple will hit this time, and Bubbles will fall. So in the end, they do at least get something out of it.
That was pretty silly by style, not going to lie. But yeah, I'm actually still surprised. Bassett's on an onslaught, so he's gone 6-0 so far, despite the huge lead that QsQ does have. And actually, it wasn't further that much. I mean, we're still looking at pretty much the same lead. There's the snipe coming up. It's not really going to hit anything. Yeah, we're just looking at pretty much the same numbers as we were about 5 minutes ago. So they're still in it. They're still trying to fight. Andromeda, unfortunately, has not had the best game so far. Has 7 deaths under his belt. And that's a lot of farm for whoever's getting those kills. And if he actually saw Forsaken Archer, I think he was thinking that he would have lived to the last tick. Because he was just kind of sitting there, and maybe, I don't know if he had a Homecoming Stone. I think he might have had it on cooldown or something, or actually doesn't even have one on him, so never mind about that. But yeah, it must have been very close, because I think that was just the last tick that killed him.
It seemed like it was very, very close, and you know, maybe you could argue that maybe he should have gone over to the creeps to farm the Whispering with the Whispering Helm or something to try to regen some life. But he stood his ground, he put out the ultimate, and tried to maybe have one last chance right there. But yeah, as you saw, it was 299, I believe, was that last tick, and that just barely did him in. So bottom tower pushed in by the Hellborn team in the meantime, and Nox and Jonas the Fan are going to continue to push down here. Of course, Draconis does have that token of life. He's level 16. Voodoo Jester nearby, but actually going to pour mid. A lot of ports coming to mid. Luna taking a lot of damage, but with the ports, at what cost right here? Polywog Priest is going to end up dropping. He does have the crystal ground. The tower gets denied, and Polywog Priest will fall. You see Silhouette in the background. She is level 16, so she as well has she's in fact leading in experience per minute. Oh, the Wrath of the Pharaoh just missing right there. Uses her portal key to get away, and does not have a Homecoming Stone though. So Silhouette still she's deep in enemy territory here. She's not actually being chased right now, but she's definitely acting like she is. But again, she can't really see what we can see. The top tower going down though in favor of the Legion team. So good push right there from Forsaken Archer, and it's going to end up falling back. But Silhouette's still in a dangerous spot.
Yeah, well, here's what you do. You put your image in a safe spot, you run to the enemy well, you blink in, you buy a Homecoming Stone portal, or use your ultimate to swap out, and then TP.
That's not dangerous.
No, not at all. It's not at all, actually. Because then if you can't even get your TP, well, then you can still swap out anyway.
Yeah.
Duh.
Anyways, yeah, so he's going to start running back, and actually, Draconis is here, and the Legion team, it's almost as if they know. Will they be able to catch? I don't believe so. I mean, they just don't know. Obviously, Silhouette has a portal key now, but no one else does just yet. Tundra has enough gold for it. I'm actually curious if he goes for it here. What do you make of that by Silhouette, by the way, though? She went portal key after the sustainer finish.
I think it's fine. I think they realize they need some more jump. They need, well, actually any kind of jump, because he was the only one that had a portal key at the time. So the portal key, I believe, was just picked up by Tundra, so they're going to have some more initiation on top of that, and I think that's a fine pickup by Silhouette. I do think that the portal key is just about as standard on Silhouette as it is, like, say, a Magmus. It really is. I just think it synergizes so well with that hero.
Yeah, the tree grapple, even despite that change/nerf that did happen with of course,
Right.
the angle of it, it's still a very, very powerful tool.
It's great for that. And I think just in general, being able to jump right in on them and then using that Death Lotus to get massive amounts of damage, or just having the mobility with that ultimate. It just makes it just works really well together.
Yeah, this continues to be a very dangerous game, though, I feel. I mean, Bunker Down, it seems like QsQ just continue to roll over Bunker Down, honestly. And the stats are in the comfortable lead. I mean, 11,000 goal lead to 5,000 experience. But I keep looking back at both Silhouette and Forsaken Archer, and you look at that. Both have basically 3,000 plus gold saved up right now, and decent items already on them. Now, we do see Draconis is going to push this bottom tower. He's going to kind of charge in right here. He still has 2 minutes, 20 seconds on that Token of Life, and he also has picked up a Slayer, by the way, well on his way to a Savage Mace. I mean, he already has 1,900 gold saved up, so Savage Mace is definitely coming up here. But look at that. Bassett buys, I believe, a level 2 Shield Breaker right there. Yes, a level 2 Shield Breaker being delivered, so some just raw physical damage coming out right there. Forsaken Archer, she still has nearly 3,000 gold saved up. And they're going to do what they can to defend this bottom tower push, and it looks like the Q squad going to fake retreat almost. May stand their ground here.
Yeah, they still have the token up on Draconis for about another minute 50, but maybe they just don't even want to use it. That could be smart. It is much more difficult actually fighting into the high ground. If you listen to a lot of smart teams, you want to actually have I mean, they have a good lead, don't get me wrong, but you want to have a very substantial lead before you can actually, no question, push into the base and be able to wipe them and still take the Rex and with very little casualties.
Yeah.
Now the decisions by Bassett to get just that raw damage, I really like that. You do have the saving grace of that Void Rip from Andromeda to save you. You have good CC ability on your team from that Polywog and that Tundra. And, of course, the Aurora from Andromeda just really synergizes well with Silhouette and actually Forsaken Archer as well.
You know, that's something we never really mentioned too much about. I mean, Andromeda, though, not only the Aurora, that's going to be great for both those two heroes, but the Dimensional Link. I mean, the Aura, once Andromeda, she has one level in it so far. I mean, one level alone is doing enough. I mean, 12% base damage. Once that's maxed out, Forsaken Archer and Silhouette are going to be taking big advantage of that. Now, there is, it's one thing to say it in theory. Actually, we do have initiation right here. Jump big time out of DM from Russ. Just gets bursted down, playing that Polywog Priest. So Q Squad had a good jump right there. Polywog Priest was living life on the edge. He was in between the two towers, thinking that he could maybe go for a deny or just try to distract them. But with the jump potential on this Hellborn team, especially with a Pharaoh, that's a very, very risky move, and it did not pay off for him. So he's down for another 30 seconds. But again, Q Squad, they're not going to force it. It's only 20 seconds remaining on the Token of Life. So Draconis just doesn't want to risk it, and they'll fall back and be fine. But still a good pick coming out from them, as well as the tower kill.
Yeah, you just simply need to stay way further back on Polywog, and he's a support. You need to make sure that your other heroes are standing in the front lines. Even a Forsaken Archer needs to stand further up than a Polywog. Or Tundra should probably be in the front lines. But then at the same time, you have that portal key, so he doesn't need to either. It's kind of hard because you are a little bit squishy, but not as squishy as you would be on this Hellborn team if they didn't have items. The problem is they are up 15,000 in gold.
Yeah.
And so heroes like a Luna, who otherwise would be squishy, have items like a Tablet of Command. I think he actually did finish. Yep, Storm Spirit is now up on Male. And Voodoo Jester, who is sitting at 900 gold, or well 900 life and has some good items. Actually has a portal key of his own, so a portal key up on the Voodoo Jester.
Wow.
Savage Mace up on Draconis. They're probably going to make this just a little more passive for the next 3 minutes, wait for that Conqueror, and then push in with massive amounts of items.
Portal key on the Voodoo Jester. Not an item I saw coming whatsoever, but maybe it's because they already have 2 tablets with Bubbles and a Luna, and the farm that Luna's has. She also has a Storm Spirit support item, so maybe they figure having more of the aggressive role on a hero like Voodoo Jester, some initiation power to follow up that Voodoo Jester and Bubbles makes sense. Hell, if that guarantee... Now, the thing with Cursed Ground, as great as it is a very short range at the same time. It is only 400 range, so you do have to get pretty close. So in that logic, I can kind of see, if they do get a jump, or if Voodoo Jester wants to be able to port in and make sure to apply that Cursed Ground to whoever they jump right away to help burst them down as fast. Because you got to figure the swap's going to be happening right away, too. So if he gets that Cursor Ground on, at least a decent amount of damage prior to it, even though whoever gets swapped out, they can still get the kill. So maybe that's some logic right there with going to Portal and Voodoo Jester, but who knows. Silhouette at the top lane going risky right here, going for a kill on a Voodoo Jester. One more auto attack, not going to be able to get it, though. She's just out of range. But you do see the damage potential from Silhouette right there. With that level 3 shield breakers.
I think, did he actually miss the tree grapple?
I think he did, yes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That would have been a for sure kill.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you said it. Damage output from Silhouette is huge. Imagine if he has an Aurora on that, and like you mentioned, has a level 4 dimensional link on him. Yeah, he will do a lot of damage. He's just, the problem is you're going to have to be able to sit back and just hope for the best. I mean, Bubbles, he's going to have probably a CC item like a Hellflower or a Sheep Stick soon. He's sitting at 5,000 gold saved up. Hellflower is now up on Pharaoh, so the initiation, the jump potential from this Hellborn team is going to be devastating. It's a matter of being able to be safe from that. Now, you have one tool, and that's Andromeda's Swap, but you have to be very conservative with that.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely have to be. And like I said, it might not even be enough, especially if that Cursed Ground is applied right away, too. So 26 more 100 gold saved up on Silhouette. I mean, you talk about a comeback game. Bassett's, man, 400 GPM. Again, he started 0-4, and now he's 7-4. So he's gone 7-0 since then. Look at him jump Bubbles right here. The Tree Grapple does hit this time. The Death Lotus, one more, couple more auto attacks, maybe the take cover. It's not going to be enough. And Style will fall. So again, Bassett's is really stepping up his game here for Bunker Down. And is on an 8-0 streak now. He is officially dominating right here, as Sal just didn't see it coming. So, again, I keep looking at the overall Golden experience, and it honestly just doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it because the pace of the game has gone really slow. We haven't really seen Draconis fight in a team fight yet.
True.
And he has these massive items. I mean, look how farming he is. He's still 540 gold per minute, easily top in the game. And, yeah, we just simply haven't seen these items and items been put to use in the team fight. We have the Storm Spirit from Maluna, and we have the Hellflower now just picked up on Pharaoh. The Blink is up on, actually, Demonic Breastplate onto Bubbles.
No. There's
Wow.
no way he had that gold. Did we just miss that?
He might have bought, like, the recipe and then, like, a Bulwark as well.
I think he missed.
But he just died, so he must have lost, like,
yeah, there's no way he had that. I think he got the Soul's Bulwark. I think he was just clicking around, so it showed up as Demonic, but, yeah.
Well, he spent all his gold, so.
There's no way. He has a Soul's Bulwark right here. Where's the Soul's Bulwark? Okay.
Oh, he didn't put it on him.
Okay, either he just forgot or I don't know, but interesting. Interesting. Anyways, we'll see what he eventually has once that. Maybe he just didn't even realize either. But there we go with Draconis. He finishes his Whispering Helm. Of course, Kongor is back up now, but you do see the Shiver placed by Sweet Pro here right on top of Kongor. So, of course, Bunker Down, they'll be very aware if Kongor is attempted. That damage chart, I mean, I've pulled it up a couple times. Bubbles, it continues to be on top of it, but Silhouette has really jumped up there. And, again, not really a big surprise with the damage output that we've seen from her. But she's got a Shrunken Head, the Shield Breaker, the Portal Key. Silhouette is definitely getting farmed now, 425 gold per minute. And then the fact that you have a backup hero in Forsaken Archer to rely on as well. It really is kind of ridiculous. Again, this is a strategy we just never see, but it could fairly work out for Bunker Down. Now they're going to jump Draconis right here. Out comes the Avalanche in the Kongor pit. Pharaoh with the counter though, but Silhouette jumps in. There's that Storm Spirit, but now Silhouette going to start pounding in those auto attacks. But Draconis, the Cataclysmic Assault, the Golden Dragon is activated, and Silhouette will melt to the ground as well as Andromeda and Tundra. Forsaken Archer, he's going to be picked off. A Genocide coming out for Q Squad, and not a single one of them died. Wow, that was a massacre.
The decision making of going on the Draconis like that was just not a smart one. He jumped out in front of everyone else. No one else was really able to go with him except maybe that Silhouette. But counting on your Tree Grapple, it was just too slow. The Shrunken Head was already activated, and it just wasn't enough damage quickly. They needed to combo up their stuns one after the other, and even then with the Storm Spirit up on Aluna, I don't know if they just forgot that Aluna had one. But that was just not the right thinking.
Bubbles does have a Demonic Breastplate, by the way.
Yeah, does have it.
Jeez, well, I mean, neither one of us really noticed that, but holy crap. He has been a farming machine himself, over 400 gold per minute now, but yeah, that was something. You mentioned right before that, we've still really yet to see Draconis in a fight. Well, we saw him in a fight right there. I mean, he got jumped, but was still able to get that Shrunken Head off, and the Cataclysmic Assault just absolutely tore them apart, it looked like, as it seems to do. So yeah, it gives you an idea of really just how far ahead that they actually are, and that the leads are respectable. And well, they're going to clean up the set of racks here in the middle lane, so that's good for Q Squad, of course. Everyone has pretty much now resurrected. In fact, there we go, Silhouette resurrecting at the last second. So everyone is up here now for Bunker Down. But Q Squad, I mean, they might as well just reset and kind of look to go back in here. In fact, they're going to move towards the top. And again, they have a token of life under Draconis. Their cooldowns, they're not long cooldowns, especially with the ultimate, so they're ready to go as well. It's dangerous news here for Bunker Down now.
Yeah, and really the Storm Spirit on Luna is just like the icing on the cake for them. It's like a little mini Jerizaiah, it really is. You can't really go on the carry or any hero that you're deciding to go on. Actually, the hook comes on, but it hits the coral, so kind of a funny hook there coming out from Johnson fan. But here's the initiation. I'll let you take over,
Here
Brady.
we go, the Golden Dragon once again. That swap from an Andromeda. Pharaoh actually in the midst of it all. He gets Sword Spirit though, and Pharaoh will barely survive. Unbelievable. Forsaken Archer in the background, trying to finish off Bubbles, but you see the damage output again from Draconis. He joins the front lines. Down goes Tundra. Forsaken Archer, he's going to get dove on in the well pretty much. You see Tundra buying back right here, but Draconis just sitting right outside of it. I don't know if this is the most effective strategy, but Q Squad is clearly at a point of where they're very confident right now, as they should be, and very likely on their way to now officially winning game number 1. They're going to go back up to the top lane here, clean up the defensive tower. You see Voodoo Jester actually tanking it. Not sure about that. Okay, going to be Storm Spirit at the last second, so had it all planned out right there. But yeah, this tower is going to start falling. We do have 3 players up, actually, and Bubbles is in a lot of trouble here. Bubbles made it falling. There's a cold shoulder, so maybe Stahl getting a little bit too cocky. And one more attack. Anything, crippling volley. Anything. Oh, he's just in range. But here comes Pharaoh to save the day. Jonas fan with the mummy wall. You see the heal from Voodoo Jester on top of Bubbles. And in the end, they will survive. Great teamwork.
Yeah, they're at such a sizable lead right now. And at this point, I say just call it, honestly. I know you want to fight it out. This is a lot on the line. But just recuperate. I think get ready for game 2 and just realize, you got to think a little bit more. I think about specifically the lanes and the late game. Yeah, you did mention they do have 2 kind of hard carries, but again, I just really think it's not the smartest decision spreading out that farm like that. Now we have seen great play specifically from Bassett despite that very awful start, but it's just not enough. And Tundra just could not find his opening really this game. He had a very difficult lane to deal with in the bottom. But, yeah, look at that farm on Nox. Just so much farm on that hard carry. He's just farming like a beast like most Draconi usually do. Just so much farm.
Yeah, the Symbol of Rage finished. He has another 1,200 gold already saved up. Really is ridiculous. So just another game in the books here for Nox of just showing us why he's just really one of the best farming players out there in general. We do see Poste is going to be used. Voodoo Jester has 2 bound, or he had 2 bound eyes, by the way. He has dropped one of them now, but I believe he got one, of course, from the Legion team as it was dropped. But yeah, Nova, 1 for each eye. Why the hell not? We do see Draconis just going to sit pounding into the tower course with the uphill attacks. That Savage Mace. He don't care. It is going to be denied. I don't think Q Squad is really cringing about that. Like, oh, darn it, they denied the tower. Hey, it's dead. That's what they're going for. The Rax now is next in line. So here we go. Draconis in the front lines again has that token of life. So really not much of an option here for the Legion team. They got to make something happen here in the near future. As grim as it is. In fact, Bubbles is screwed. I'm tired of waiting. He jumps in. In comes that Cataclysmic Assault. Once again, look at Tundra just getting torn apart. He will fall. Polywalk Priest does war trap Bubbles, but Bubbles just tanking the damage like a boss. And he's going to be fine. Andromeda gets caught by the hook from Pharaoh. Down he goes. And now we see the Q Squad pursuing even further. Silhouette drops. The GG wall plays are called, and it will be official as a hat trick comes out for Nox there to finish. We are going to game number 2 with Q Squad up 1-0. So what an interesting game there, man. I mean, but you look back at the laning phase, and just that easily was the part of the game that really just secured a victory as early on as it was, but for Q Squad.
There was really good roaming and switching around from specifically Nova and Male, putting a lot of aggression where they needed to, roaming mid, roaming top, then going back bottom to support their Draconis, and just really well played by those 2 specifically. Of course, Nox farming like a machine like he usually does, with any of the gold with 630 gold per minute on Draconis, of course. And Q Squad takes game 1 here in a pretty considerable, pretty devastating fashion.
Yeah, it was. It was a thing of beauty, really. I mean, this is a team that not only has just come so far here on the competitive scene, but they honestly just are one of the most entertaining teams to watch if you're looking for teamwork, great teamwork. Q Squad knows how to get great teamwork out there. They're definitely on the ball with communication. As you mentioned, I mean, as Nova even brought up, they've been even already doing some boot camping. I mean, they're already getting ready for the DreamHack event, even though they haven't technically qualified. But hey, why the hell not? They're warming up. Of course, there's the Han Tour thing as well. But yeah, so the synergy is obviously there, and it does show. It seems like every single time we cast these guys, but it is just game 1, ladies and gentlemen. So it is a best out of 5 ahead of us. We'll see how Bunker Down responds now going into game number 2. And with that said, I'm Breaky CBK. Joining me is Tralf Mador. Stay tuned. Game 2 coming up next.